Hi, everybody. I hope you're having a fantastic day. It's really cool to see the world starting to come back to normal as much as possible. Being fully vaccinated, you can pretty much go anywhere, do anything now without a mask, which is really nice. I'm going to be covering today the Mount Pleasant, Tennessee Museum. Now, I've done a video on Mount Pleasant already, which was the phosphate capital of the world at one point. And the museum was not open that day. So now we've come back when the museum is open, and now we're going to take you inside. Thanks for watching and have a great day. So the phosphate mining process is a very dangerous one, as you can see with all the protective equipment that you have to wear. It's kind of eerie when you think about it. This is pretty much the protective equipment that was used by a lot of people, especially scientists, of course, in the early days of our pandemic. It still works. The museum is just now getting back open. It's a totally voluntary thing, so it's really cool to see the community come together as certain things are starting to get lifted, obviously, in regards to the pandemic. And seeing them want to open this museum back up to showcase the history of this awesome town of Mount Pleasant, a lot of it centering on phosphate mining, as I mentioned in a previous video, was the phosphate capital of the United States. Now, this gives you a small idea of what comes out of the ground, the different types of phosphates, and the different products that all are manufactured in the manufacturing process involve phosphates. It's pretty cool. A lot of things I didn't know. It is also very dangerous, and it can be very hurtful to the environment. That's why at one point in time, the mining that was done here the phosphates could not be sold in the United States, and actually had to be sold overseas for a pretty lengthy amount of time. Now, the mine here that was run by Stauffer Chemical, no longer used. You can actually go see the remnants of the buildings, and we may do that in a future vlog. In addition to the history of phosphate in the area, Mount Pleasant also has a very proud history in regards to Native Americans, with the Cherokee and Chickasaw operating in the area and making it their home, as well as a history of the Civil War. There were no major battles in Mount Pleasant, but there were several skirmishes, and the museum is able to boast some original uniforms from the Civil War, sabers, and weapons that were used within the war, as well as battle flags from various wars. Lots of extensive metal detecting has been done in the area, and a lot of those findings have been donated to the museum. People's personal collections have been donated to the museum. And I think that's really cool that instead of a lot of this stuff residing in personal collections, it can be donated to the museum and give future generations an opportunity to see history, to understand history, to appreciate history, to learn from history. Mount Pleasant also finds itself growing as a community because Tennessee as a whole is growing. There is no state income tax in Tennessee, and during the pandemic, a lot of people have kind of reasserted where they wanted to live, what's best for them and their family, and a lot of people are coming to Tennessee, and a lot of these small towns are seeing influxes of tourism, of home ownership, and although some locals may not 100% like it, I think for the most part, it's a good thing. As we continue on what is the top floor of the museum, there's a museum, a ground level, and then a basement level. This third floor has the military items, also has some just Mount Pleasant Americana, what it was like to live in Mount Pleasant at the turn of the century. The dresses, old family photos, Native American memorabilia. You see early medical memorabilia from the area. Because there was a lot of money in the community had a lot of the greatest medical advances at the time. There were opportunities to get clothing and home goods in from all across the world. And a little sampling of that is right here for you, including in a second, I'm going to talk about what is my favorite part of the museum, I think, something really interesting. So this here is one of the most unique things I have ever seen. This is hair that has been made into a wreath. This is many generations of a family. You see a lot of people that will keep hair from ancestors, will keep hair from their children, etc. I don't think I've ever seen a collection of hair be made into a wreath. Pretty amazing. Now, as the museum is getting back on its feet, a lot of things we just don't know what they are. The placards are not there because they took time to clean everything and gave a complete paint job to the museum as well. I assume this dress here, beauty queen, maybe homecoming queen. Very pretty nonetheless. And as Tennessee is known as the volunteer state, of course, we've always been well represented when it comes to the armed forces. This section of the upstairs room deals with the involvement of Middle Tennesseans in Vietnam, the Korean War, World Wars I and II, Desert Storm, Operation Iraqi Freedom, and so on up to the present day. We even see representation of Middle Tennesseans at NASA. Very cool, and it really humbles you to know the sacrifices made by so many people to give us the freedom that we enjoy right now. Even in the collection, you see items that were brought back by service members in World War II, German artifacts, German uniforms, even German weapons that were brought back as spoils of war.